Hello, my beautiful business besties. Welcome to week 1 of Launch Your Business in 60 Days. I'm Haley. I'm going to be your guide through the next 8 weeks of creating a flawless foundation for your business to launch on January 1st. For week 1, we are talking about the true basics of getting your business started. That is getting you legally set up, getting your structure ready, and getting your goals set. In this video, we're going to cover how to properly set up your sole proprietorship or your LLC, pick a business bank account and your tax basics, choosing a profitable brand-aligned business name, and we're going to set our business goals, our income goals, and our mindset goals before we jump into the next 7 weeks. This is the most essential thing for you not to skip at the beginning. We are setting up your business to be legal, giving you a good name, and getting you right with the IRS, because one thing about me, we do not with the IRS. So I'm going to give you the framework to register and get your business ready to go. So let's start with how or what to register your business as. There are a bunch of different business options, but the 2 things that we want to focus on for most creative freelancers that are going to work best are sole proprietorships and LLCs. The rest you don't need to worry about unless you're making like multi-millions of dollars. In that case, but we're just working with what we have now. Let's figure out what's gonna work best for you. An LLC or a limited liability company means basically your business is a separate entity from yourself. So instead of being Haley Finnegan makeup artist, you are Haley Finnegan hair and makeup. The separation is going to protect any personal assets you have. So if something happens, someone sues you, if you have insurance claims, anything like that, anybody is not able to come for your personal assets. Everything in the business is separate from yourself. The business is going to take the hit, not you. That's why I recommend an LLC for most people. It is the safest option. It takes a little bit more to get set up, but it's really not that much more, and you are protecting yourself in the future because you never know what's going to happen. You'd rather be protected, do it now, than regret it and have to deal with it later. Now, a sole proprietorship, this is the easiest and simplest way. This is what most people just assume if they don't register. It means that you are your business. So you are Haley Finnegan, the makeup artist. There's no separation between you and your business. You claim all the income. You're personally responsible for any and everything. It's a super casual setup. It's very easy to do. It's a lot cheaper than registering anything else, but don't stress. An LLC is not scary complicated at all. It's literally just a couple forms on your state website and a fee. So don't get stressed. If you are looking for something a little bit more simple, a sole proprietorship is for you. But if you want to separate yourself with the business, it does make you look a little bit more put together, if you will. Having that LLC and being like, she's a businesswoman, you know, then I would recommend doing that. For everyone, I would generally recommend an LLC, but you go on with your bad self, you do what you gotta do. All right. So now that you've picked which business structure you're gonna go with, let's actually register it. Each state is gonna be a little bit different. Typically, the way that you're going to register your business is you're going to go through whatever state Department of Revenue. Like in Florida, we have SunBiz and we have the Florida State Department of Revenue. We will go through and fill all of the forms out. It's very, very easy. Luckily, these government sites make it pretty easy to navigate. They give you the forms, you submit them, a couple days, you get everything back. But before you submit any forms, you need to check and make sure that the name of your business is not trademarked, copywritten, or already taken. For us in Florida, we have SunBiz. You'll go onto SunBiz and they have a free search on the website, and you're going to then search up whatever you plan to name your business. For any sort of freelancing business or a business where you yourself are working, to keep it either under your name or something that makes sense, right? We don't want to get too complicated with it. We don't want people second guessing what it is that we do. You want someone to be able to figure out what you do by the name of your business, right? For example, if I were to be Alani New Strawberry Artistry, that's not really going to translate into she's a makeup artist, right? Because you're like, okay, Alani New Strawberry, what does that have to do? And what kind of artistry? That doesn't really make sense. You want to make sure that the name is plain and simple and get straight to the point so that your clients know exactly what you do. My business is just my name, hair and makeup. A lot of people, you know, if you have different, if you have like somebody else's name that you like, anything like that, your middle name, there are so many options for you. But my biggest recommendation is to make sure that the name is going to be straightforward with what it is that you do. So if you're just a hairstylist, you would want to do like Alani New Strawberry Wedding Hair. right? You would want to make that in the name of your business so that you know, I do wedding hair and my name is Alani New Strawberry, right? Makes sense. It's not a super complicated topic, but I would recommend going with something that is a little bit more on the simple side rather than trying to force a crazy business name that people aren't really gonna get. Once you figured out, you check and make sure that your business is not trademarked. The US government, if you are in the US government has a website that you can check for trademarks and copyright. I always like to double check everywhere just to make sure you don't want problems down the line. You start utilizing your name, you pay for things to get branded, and then someone says, hey girl, you can't use that name. I've had that copywritten for 5 years. Just do your diligence at the beginning and save yourself some time. Make sure that you check everywhere and that that business does not already exist, or if the trademark or whatever has expired. Also, a little pro tip, make sure to check in your state if your business needs extra licenses. Like some states, you have to have an extra license to do hair on site. There are some cities and counties that also have that, so make sure that you're checking in your area and seeing what it is that you need to have, and you make sure you get all of the proper licenses before you start doing anything. When you start doing things the right way, you're not gonna have any problems, you're not gonna have any anxiety. Just start the right way and everything is gonna go good for you. Don't skip steps because you wanna save money, you don't wanna do the fees. Just do everything initially the right way the first time, and you're gonna have a way better time because you're not gonna have to go back and forth 100 times. Once that's clear, once we know, okay, great, our business name isn't taken, I know that I like my business name, it's not trademarked, I know all the licensing stuff, you're just gonna follow the steps, fill out the form, and pay the fee. Typically, it's between $50 to $100. Every state is different, so don't come for me if that's incorrect for you, but it's all gonna be different depending on the state. That's something great about the United States. But then that's it. Once you're filed, typically it will take 3 to 7 business days. It also depends on your state, how backed up they are. Florida typically gets things done pretty quick. I don't know about other states, but I know about my state. You'll get an email. Thank God nobody emails anything anymore, so you don't really have to wait too long to get all of your stuff. There will be like an article of organization or some sort of packet that says you are officially a business, this is your business name, and you'll be good to go. So once you're approved, you get your formation documents by email. You are going to get your EIN number or your employer identification number from the IRS. I know it sounds spooky. It's not spooky, I promise. It's very easy. Luckily, the IRS makes this pretty simple for us. I think it's one of the only things that the IRS makes simple. If you do everything right, the IRS is not spooky. So just make sure that you're doing everything right. We're doing our best, okay? So go to the IRS website. You're going to apply for your EIN number. This is basically a social security number for your business. So this is going to be the identification number that the government can see what you report based on your business, right? So just like we have social security numbers that we file our taxes under, your business needs to have that too. So that's where we're going to apply for it. And it's completely free. You don't have to pay a fee for that. It only takes a few minutes. The forms are not very long. You fill that out, you send it away. I got mine between, I think it was like 1 to 2 business days, if the IRS is backed up, obviously. But you just have to wait and see what your government is gonna do. And after that, you are in business. You are official. You have all of the things legally that you need to start with in order to have a proper business. That's gonna be step 1. That's probably gonna take you a full week to get done, just for waiting for all the paperwork and all of that. So we're gonna start with that. I'm letting you off easy on week 1. It's gonna get more complicated. There's gonna be a lot more stuff for you to do, but we're gonna jump into setting our goals and our intentions for the next 8 weeks. Before we get into what we want our goals and stuff to be, here are a few things that I would recommend you to do at this point in your business. Number 1 is going to be find a really good CPA. I'm not talking about your dad using TurboTax. I'm talking about a real life CPA that you pay money that knows what they're talking about. I would avoid the girl boss kind of gimmicky things. Find somebody that is, live, laugh, love taxes. That's who you want to be doing your taxes. And I would highly recommend finding a small business to support. They either come recommended from someone else, they have good reviews, or they can show you that they know exactly what they're talking about when it comes to you, your write-offs, and your business. Your relationship with your CPA is almost as important as your relationship with your partner. It is very, very important to stay on the good side of the IRS because, again, say it with me, we do not with the IRS. We don't do it. I don't do it. You don't do it. Nobody should do it because they will find you. They will find you and they will make you pay for things. So do everything right to begin with. That is going to be my biggest piece of advice. Make sure that through all the things that you do not do anything illegal or tax evasion-y. Just maybe stay away from that. That's gonna be my advice. Number 2, a QuickBooks subscription. I would love QuickBooks to sponsor me. Every single human being that I talk to is like, I'm like, hey, do you have QuickBooks? If you're a small business owner, you need QuickBooks Self-Employed is one of the best investments that I do every single month for my business. It tracks my mileage, it tracks all of my purchases, it tracks everything for me because honestly, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit around with a spreadsheet and go through something every single month. I have enough shit to do with my own business. The last thing I want to worry about is my taxes and all of that. It is worth, I pay $35 a month. It is worth every single penny. And it's a tax write-off, the $35 a month. So get the QuickBooks subscription. I'm telling you, I promise, business owner to business owner, it's worth it. And number 3, getting your workspace and your programs ready, right? If you have an iPhone 10, you need to upgrade your phone. If we're gonna be taking content, if we're gonna be running programs, if we're gonna be editing, we wanna make sure that you have the proper equipment to better your business, right? If you don't have a laptop, if you don't have an iPad, if you don't have anything to work off of, you need to get that. We need to start there. Now, I know the holidays are coming up, so Black Friday, anything like that, you can look for good deals on things. The things that I would recommend, I absolutely adore my iPad Pro. It is something I utilize all the time in my business. This is something like the more expensive iPad Pro, the bigger one with the M4 chip is wonderful. I have been really, really happy with it. I can run every program on it. I can edit on it. I can do anything that I need. I also do have a MacBook Air. My MacBook Air is enough for me. I don't necessarily feel like I need a iPad Pro and the MacBook Pro. So it just kind of depends on where you're at when it comes to your finances and what you want. But I would say getting something that you can run all of your programs, your CRMs and everything on, a laptop or an iPad is going to be a really, really great investment for you. Make sure also you have a little area that you can work in. I have a little office where I can shut the door. I put noise canceling headphones on. I also put on a frequency playlist to help me with my focus. And I make sure that I have my own space in my own bubble to work on. When you have a creative brain, it can be really, really difficult. I know a lot of us really struggle with focus. I am one of those people. I don't want to sit and stare at my computer for hours. I want to go make people pretty. I want to do makeup. That is why I'm in this business. And we unfortunately have to do everything else ourselves. We have to make content, we have to edit, we have to focus on doing spreadsheets and all of these things. So making sure that you have a proper setup, you have drinks and snacks, and that you can just get everything done when you need to get it done, you'll be good to go. I would recommend week 1, make sure that you're getting all of this stuff ready to go so that you're set up and good to go for the next 7 weeks. We are going to get a little bit more intense. We're starting off a little bit lighter. We're giving you a little taste before we get into the nitty gritty, the hard stuff. And it is going to get more difficult. It is going to get more challenging. I am here to challenge you. And I want you to be open to the challenge, and I want you to push yourself to be a better business owner or to be the business owner that you're really dreaming you can be. And I know you can do it. I know you might not want to, but you can, I promise. Let's talk about setting goals and setting intentions. I want you to be very, very strong in your goals and your intentions, and I want you to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable for any and everything that we're doing over the next 7 weeks. I'm gonna be a little bit hard on you. I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud because that's just the kind of girl that I am. You're probably not working as hard as you could be. Yes, but I know. Yeah, we all need to work harder. We live in a society where we preach about work-life balance, but I think sometimes it kind of tips the other way. We tend to go into the life balance a little bit too much, and we're like, I'm not working as much, and then we go the other way, and then our life is not going the good way. So we want to find a good medium between work-life balance, but until we achieve our goals, our work life should be the front forward of our focus. We should be making sure that our business is getting the attention that it needs. Our business is a living, breathing entity. It needs time, it needs effort, and it needs focus. I want you to make a promise to yourself that you're going to put 100% into every little aspect of your business going forward. As artists, we tend to avoid this part of the business because, let's be honest, it's boring. It's not what we want to do. We want to do makeup, we want to do hair, we want to do tattoos, we want to do photo shoots, we want to do all the things that we actually set out to do. We don't want to sit in front of a computer for hours. It sucks. But this is what you signed up for when you be your own boss. We're gonna learn it, we're gonna master it, and we're gonna make it our bitch. So before we set our goals, I want you to decide how you're going to handle your admin. I told you a little bit about this a second ago, but whenever I sit down to do my admin work, I do all of my admin on Mondays. Mondays are my productivity days. Mondays are the days that I sit down, I get all of the boring tasks knocked out, and then I give myself a little treat at the end of the day. I always take myself out to dinner, or I get a takeout that I want, or I just have like a movie night with myself, or I go out with friends, whatever it is that I want to do. That is my reward for being a productive girl. When I sit down Monday morning and I know that it's going to be a long day, I break it up into multiple hours. I give myself like time blocks, right? So I'll work down, I'll sit down, I'm gonna work on this for 2 hours. Then I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna go make a snack. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna go read for 30 minutes. And then I'm gonna come back for another 2 hours and work on a different task. This has been time blocking, and breaking things up makes my focus a lot better. But I make sure that I have, like I said, snacks, drinks, and my comfy clothes on. I put my phone in the other room. I know you, because I know me. We want to doom scroll. I want to doom scroll all day. I love TikTok. I love Instagram. I love scrolling. Sometimes the scrolling doesn't love me back because I start feeling bad about myself. But listen, put your phone in the other room and focus on what you got in front of you. I love playing Frequency. I'm gonna leave a link to my favorite Spotify focus playlist because it just, I don't know, it makes my little brain dance and it makes me focus a little bit more. I will say noise canceling headphones, like AirPods over the head. I really want to get like the Bose ones because sometimes I feel like the noise canceling isn't enough in my AirPods for me. Or I do have like loops that sometimes if I just want silence, that's also really helpful because I get easily distracted. If you're an easily distracted person, noise canceling is the way to go. I also write out a specific list of what I want to get done when. Like I said before, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to work on this, and this for 2 hours. If I get it done, I get it done. If I don't get it done, I don't get it done. I make sure that I have exactly the tasks that I'm going to do before I even sit down. So sometimes I'll do it the night before, or I do it while I'm drinking my coffee in the morning to make sure that I can execute the things that I need to when I sit down to work. And sometimes you got to trick yourself into doing it. You know, I reward myself with a treat, but honestly, a lot of the times I'm like, you just gotta do it, dude. We have to do hard things sometimes. And, you know, I don't want to do half of the stuff that I do, but I do it for the greater good of my business. I do it so that I can be better going forward. And you are going to be better going forward. So sit down, do the things, and we can make this a routine together. Every single Wednesday, I'm going to be posting one of these videos. So you can come here, you can watch your video for the week, and then you can get all your admin tasks done after. So we'll do it together, I promise. I also break things up throughout the week, right? So my Mondays are my boring days. Those are my admin tasks. Those are the days that I do things that I'm like not necessarily wanting to do, but I know I need to get them done. Tuesdays, I plan all of my social media. So I do all of the fun social media. I finish making content, editing content, doing all of the social media stuff on Tuesdays. And again, if I have weddings, if I have appointments, you know, I do this in tandem with whatever I have going on that week. Wednesdays, I do physical business maintenance, kit restocking, cleaning, all of that things, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. Create your weekly schedule on Sundays. Make Sundays your marker, or whatever days that you have off. You know, I know for a lot of us, our weekends are our work week. So I take Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, those are my weekends, and that's when I kind of get a lot of the other stuff done. On Sundays, I do all my personal stuff. Sundays is my personal day, and something that I recommend everybody have going forward is having a personal day. That is something I burnt myself out so hard in the beginning of my business. I did not take any personal days. I said yes, yes, yes to everything and anything. And it was wonderful for my career, but really bad for my mental health. So taking Sundays, I do not work at all on Sundays. Every once in a while, I'll take a wedding or whatever if I'm feeling spicy. But Sundays are my days. I do my laundry, I clean my house, I go to the farmer's market, I go to the mall. I do the fun things that I want to do that I don't typically get to do during the week, or go spend time with family and friends and all the stuff. Set yourself up with a good schedule every week. Now we're going to move on to setting our goals. For the next 8 weeks, I want you to promise yourself that you are going to buckle yourself down, you're going to focus, and you're actually going to do it. Because I promise you, without commitment from yourself, if you just lightly commit to this, you're not going to be able to execute it the way you actually need to. You gotta full send it, babe. You gotta sit down, you gotta lock in, and you gotta full send. It's just a bunch of little tasks that we're gonna break up through the next 8 weeks. And you gotta go all in every single week. If you go all in every week, you'll get everything done. And then once the task is done, you don't have to go back to it. Once your branding's done, you don't have to rebrand until you want to. Once your CRM's set up, you don't have to go back and set it up again. These are just little time-consuming tasks that you've got to do in order to get the foundation of your business. Once your foundation is built, you can market and you get to do all of the fun stuff afterwards. So lock in for the next 8 weeks. Let's get the boring shit over with, and then we can move on to all of the fun stuff. Here is your first assignment, and I'm gonna have a little worksheet down below for setting your goals and setting your intentions. I also am gonna have a checklist down below to do all of the things that we discussed in this video. Every single week, you're gonna have a checklist of the tasks that I'm giving you so that you can move on to the next week. First assignment, we're going to set our 6-month business goals. I want you to ask yourself, where do you want your business to be in 6 months? How much money do you want to make per year? What kind of clients do you want to attract? I want you to be super specific in every answer that you have. I want you to think about every little aspect of all of these goals and really sit with them and visualize yourself reaching these goals. Then I want you to set personal goals. How are you going to continue growing? Are you going to continue educating yourself? Are you going to get into a mastermind program? What are you going to do to continue down the road learning every single week? What are you going to be reading, watching, or learning that's going to make you a better business owner? It is really great to have something like this that is going to kick off the excitement, but once the excitement dies down, you're gonna have to have something that's going to keep you up, that's gonna keep you going, that's gonna keep you ready. So make sure that you have that ready to go after we finish our 8 weeks together. Something that I've implemented in my daily and weekly rotation is reading some sort of business book. I love the $100 million book series. I have them all. Something that I learned from Mr. Hermosi and his wife, Layla. They are a great couple to follow if you are, starting a business, learning different business tactics. I have learned so much from this series. I've read them multiple times. I'm getting through the $100 million money models that just launched a couple of months ago. I also do audiobooks and I read the physical book as well, or the book on my iPad. It definitely helps things absorb a little bit better for me. So I have really committed to myself to keeping myself inspired by listening to podcasts and different entrepreneurs talking about what they do, and it keeps me inspired and it keeps me ready to go. I want you to pick clear goals and focus on them, and every single week we're gonna look back on our goals that we created this first week, and we're gonna say, what did I do this week in order to get closer to my goal? And I want you to reflect on yourself every single week and say, am I acting like the best version of myself? Are the actions that I implemented this week in the better interest of the goals that I have for myself? I am so excited that you're here, and I hope that you lock in with the rest of us. I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments. I want everybody to send me an update through the comments if you have one. I can't wait to hear, and this is our very first YouTube series together, so I am ready to go. I am locked in with you guys, and I can't wait to see how your businesses thrive, and I will see you next Wednesday for week 2.